It's Time Warner Cable's local edition. I'm Brad Pomerance, and we are joined by Jerome Horton. He is the chair of California's Board of Equalization. And I believe that you may have overlapped in the legislature with Bob Hertzberg.
I did.
You
I
did.
Bob and I were he was my speaker.
Right, and
yeah.
now he's in the California State Senate, and he's making noise, no surprise.
Yeah.
And he's talking about tax reform. And he is talking about changing our sales tax structure. In that, I believe his proposal, drop the sales tax, but widen it. Apply it to services, accountants, lawyers, doctors, whatever it may
Contractors.
be. Contractors.
Yeah,
What do you think?
Exactly. Well, you know, it's a shifting of the taxes. First, I think we need to go back and analyze it, Brad, you know, because, you know, taxation was originally created to modify behavior. So we have to ask ourselves what behavior you're trying to modify by taxing services and so forth. And so
what about the state's behavior in that we have such a volatile economy?
Well, the volatile economy is, will that change? You know, if we raise capital gains, what happens? People stop selling property.
Right.
If you tax a hamburger $100, they don't eat hamburgers.
Right.
So we have to be careful when it comes to taxation, and particularly when we start talking about raising it and spreading it across the board.
But you'd be raising it for some because it goes from 0 to, let's say, 5%, but lowering it for others.
Well, Bob has also talked about lowering the corporate tax so that those who pay the 1% will pay a little bit less, and at the end of the day, it collects an additional $10 billion. So despite what happens earlier, at the end of the day, $10 billion and more taxes is being paid, and theoretically that's from broadening the base and including more people.
But I thought the goal in the end was to avoid the volatility of revenues that come in.
I think that is part of the goal. I mean, sales tax and income tax currently make up about 95 to 99% of the total revenue state budget. Huge.
Right.
And so income tax is a huge part of that.
Right.
So if you shifted to sales tax, you shifted to income tax, you know, I think we ought to take a look at stimulating the, you know, I think Bob's a brilliant guy, first of all.
Your speaker.
So yeah. So you can't you can't rule that his ideas out yet. It deserves the thought.
Right.
But it deserves intellectual thought, and we got to go back and take a look at it, Brad.
But we've been talking about this for years, sir. I mean, I've known you for years.
Flat taxes, all that. Yeah.
Is Hertzberg the guy, Senator Hertzberg, the gentleman, who can actually move the needle on this question of tax reform?
I think Senator Hertzberg is the right guy. As you know, he served on a number of different committees set up by the governor. I think he needs to form a committee of the Board of Equalization, Franchise Tax Board, and other experts in this particular area. And let's sit down and figure it out.
I was speaking with one of your colleagues, Fiona Ma, the other day.
Yes.
She is, I guess, the chair of the legislative committee.
She is.
Of your board. So presumably she'd like that idea.
Yeah, because she'd be serving on it.
She'd be serving on it. So, I mean, Mr. Hertzberg does seem like a collaborative guy.
Senators, he is. He's always worked. In fact, he's already called.
Okay.
He's already called, said, Jerome, let's see if we can work together, help figure this out. So
have you, what do you think? What do you think?
You know, I think we need to do something about it. You know what I mean? I think we need to make sure that we can take care, strengthen our weakest link in our society, rebuild the middle class, and so forth. And we got challenges doing that now.
And let me ask you this. If you know, what do your Republican colleagues think? Because I could see them saying this is the best idea ever. I could see them saying, oh, you know, let's not discuss, we don't want to tinker.
Well, it's a 2/3 vote, so it's going to require Republican support, or it's going to require the legislature to put it on the ballot, let the voters decide which way it goes. I mean, you know, you can't predict the Republicans and what they're going to do.
But you're a bridge. You've always been a bridge to the Republicans.
I've always worked with them and worked well to try to come up with a solution. I think if we craft a solution that the industry is supportive of, the people are supportive of, everyone gets there.
Okay, his name is Jerome Horton. He is the chair, still the chair
of
the California Board of Equalization. My name is Brad Pomerance. I want to thank you so much for watching Time Warner Cable's local edition.